Good afternoon and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. Celtic have got good news, as you could tell by that picture. Yes, the one and only Cameron Carter-Vickers was spotted, and Celtic released a picture of Cameron Carter-Vickers training at Celtic Park today. Yes, he was pictured training at Celtic Park today before they flew off to Italy. Yeah, so Celtic released a picture of Cameron Carter-Vickers, which is great news as far as Celtic is concerned. The Italians, though, they have their own defensive headache. Yes, they do have their own defensive headache, it's been said. The news coming out of Italy today, obviously they won their game at the weekend 2-0, but Sky Sports Italia noticed that one of the Atalanta's defenders was not training today. The Sweden international was replaced at half-time on Sunday due to an illness, and he does not make training today. So will he be out the game for tomorrow evening? That's obviously the big... Look, it doesn't matter if what the players they've got out injured, to be fair. Whatever players they've got out injured, Celtic are going to have to turn up and do. Is it the impossible? And I don't think it's impossible to get some kind of result over there. But the fact that they are having a bit of an off period, it's good for Celtic. I'm not going to say that we're going to get them at the right time. There's no right time to get an Italian team as far as I'm concerned. But what it does do is getting Cameron Carter-Vickers back and being on the training pitch is a great boost for everyone. For everyone that's in Italy already and everyone that is connected to the club. Because let's hope that with him and Liam Scales in defence together, he can make sure that Liam Scales doesn't have any lapse of concentration. Because I think that Liam Scales does need a strong Cameron Carter-Vickers beside him. And some people could say that Cameron Carter-Vickers needs a stronger player beside him rather than Liam Scales. But it is Carter-Vickers and Liam Scales. It looks like they will be starting the game tomorrow. The rest of the team, we'll just need to wait to see if Brendan throws us any surprises. And a lot of people are saying that we need to go more defensive-minded in the midfield area. I've said, will we play a 5 in the midfield, play a 4-5-1. Set it up like that so that the wingers, Dyson and Nico Kuhn, are a bit more defensive minded in the midfield with the midfield players, because if the Italians play 3-5-2, we're going to be up against it, aren't we? We are going to be up against it. But anyway, let's jump into the comment section and see what everyone's saying about the great, fantastic news that Cameron Carter-Vickers is playing. Well, he's on the plane. He's on the plane, he's training, he's on the plane to Italy. He'll have landed in Italy by now, surely. I think it was about 3 hours ago they left. It's maybe about a 3.5 hour flight, isn't it? No, I don't know. Great news, says Ian. Wilson QW says, hail, hail. Kieran says, hail, hail, everyone. Martin K says, good evening, folks. Carly is over the moon that Cameron Carter-Vickers is fit. Grabboy70 says, evening, Baz. Good evening, all, says Mark. Hazel67 is in the house. Paul says, afternoon. He's going to go for 1 for Atalanta and 2 for Celtic. Oh, for the women. I have no idea. Is that your prediction for tomorrow? Sneak a wee win, it would be marvellous, but Desmond's 2-2 will be happily take. A 2-2 draw. Would you take a 2-2 draw? I'm not even going to start. I don't want to predict scores. I think we'll leave that till tomorrow. When it comes to the team, it's a massive, massive bonus that Cameron Carter-Vickers. When I look, I've not put any other of the pictures up from the Celtic. But if you go into the Celtic training pictures, there is one picture actually that I want to get. Did I put that one up? Give me 2 seconds. Who is the fourth keeper that was training with Celtic today? Who was this fourth keeper? Let me just see if I can get this picture. Now looks like there's one of the young keepers have made the step up in training with the Celtic team. And are Celtic taking 4 keepers to Italy with them? I don't know if that's allowed in the Champions League. Like to just put this one up. Image. Get this image for you. See if we can see who this is. So who is this guy? Put it down there. Who's the young... I wonder, is it Anderson? Is it young Anderson? I don't know if it's young Anderson. Let me just make that one a little bit smaller. Taking up a bit much of the screen, these. But yeah, there is... Because there... You can see Kasper Schmeichel. You can see Sinisalo. Behind Sinisalo is the one and only Scott Bain. And then there's a young keeper with the ball in his hand. Now that's something that is a surprise because we've not seen this in training before. So tell me in the comment section if you know who the young keeper is. Liz Donnelly's in the house. Kieran says more realistic tomorrow than what was in Germany, especially since Celtic can't handle fast and consistent attacks. Says Kieran, can we play a bit more defensive mind? Atalanta are very pacey forwards. They do that. And they're going to have a good go, that's for sure. Ian's going 2-0 the hoops. Don't even try and go for a Celtic win tomorrow. I think if we get a win, it would be amazing. But they haven't let in many goals in the Champions League. They have let in goals. They've been leaking goals, it's been said, in the domestic league. But let's hope they are overconfident so we can knock a goal. I agree, a 4-5-1 is the way to go, says Grabboy. I think it's the way that Brendan should play. But what do I know? Brendan will say, look, I'm the manager. I'll play the way you see fit. For me, a 4-5-1 would be a lot better because you've still got the opportunity to go. You've got Keogh going on runs. Your 2 wingers can still go on runs for the midfield. So the fact that they're not further up the pitch and they're trying to get inside and into the box, I just think that, I mean, they're going to play a 3 at the back, I believe. I just think that we need to be a bit more clever than we were in Germany. Make up any formation you want, but Rodgers is the boss and won't change, says Michael Ross. I'll take a draw all day long, says Thomas. I'll take a draw all day long as well. Hail from Argentina. Great work, mate. 3-2 Celtic. Vamos, Celtic. Vamos, amigo. Archie coming in from Argentina. Bain can't be counted. He's done. But he's there in the picture. You know, he is there in the picture. But who is the young keeper? Who is the young keeper that's currently under Cameron Carter-Vickers on the screen? It's interesting that we're finally starting to bring one of the younger keepers into the foe, into the scene at Celtic. So I just think it can only be a good thing. It can only be a good thing when you see one of the younger keepers in and around training. Because let's face it, Scott Bain can't stay at Celtic forever, and he can't stay number 2 at Celtic. And let's just hope it's... let me just go to the Celtic website just to check the teams. Because you're hoping, if it's any of the 2 of the keepers, is it young Joe Morrison? Is it Joe Morrison? I think it'll be Joe Morrison. Because he's Scottish. And Josh Clark is... No, I think it'll be Josh. I think it's Joe Morrison. Joe Morrison. Who the other keeper is. Yeah, it looks like Joe Morrison. So he'll be there to bring up the numbers for the Scottish players. So for me, that makes sense for Brendan Rodgers to bring him into the foe. Bring him into the team. And can he make the jump up? And can he be number 2 to Sinisalo? Can he be number 2 to Sinisalo next season? So it'll be interesting. He's obviously made the flight if he's been training with the team before. And it just shows you that we're lacking first team players from Scotland on the outfield front. It does show that we're lacking. Scottish players on an outfield, because you're going to have Stephen Welsh that's going to travel. You're going to have Tony Ralston that's travelled. Also, let's look at the Celtic pictures again from... I'll just talk through it as I'm walking through it, because I don't want to... Also, you've got Tony Ralston. Nico Kuhn was there. Paolo Bernardo. Sinisalo making a save. Austin Trusty. Lewis Palmer. A lot of people playing down Lewis Palmer and speculation that he's going to leave again, but he is there in the squad. Lewis Palmer was used efficiently in the Champions League last season. Will he be used tomorrow night just to give us a different outlook on the team? You never know. Like Adam Ida was there, pictured a couple of times. And then the big one, Cameron Carter-Vickers doing his sprints. And Dyson Myra, a couple of the Scottish lads in the training pictures also. Nico Kuhn, Liam Scales, Captain Calmack, smiling, doing his sprints. They all looked happy and smiley, along with the Japanese boys. Brendan Rodgers was smiling on his face in training. So yeah, let's hope that he's smiling tomorrow night, because let's face it, there's been a couple of games this month. Chris Fraser's just came in from Texas. So we've got Chris in Texas. And where was the other one coming in from again? Jesus. Germany. No, it wasn't. He's not from Germany, that one. Argentina. It was Argentina, wasn't it? And Texas. So there's Chris coming in from Texas. And... as well this evening. Let me just speed that back up. So yeah, let me just jump back into Bain can't be counted according to Kevin, because he's done. We need full goalkeepers to play this lot. Hail from Airdrie, says Jim the Sim. Excuse me. 2-1 Celtic, says Paul McEwen. I don't think so. I think if we're lucky, we'll get beat 2-1. Maybe going to put a loan in January, possible. We'll get to see him the standard he should be. And no, I think that the young lad's been brought in purely for the fact that Brendan Rodgers needs to make up the numbers when it comes to the Champions League team. He needs to make up the Scottish numbers. Hail from South Armagh. Those great fighting men. Baz, still have faith in the boys. Keep the faith. I've got faith, but I think there's more chance of a draw than there is us winning. I think the odds against a win, they're not going to look good whatsoever. But anyway, let's get back to what the Italians were saying. However, based on Tuesday's training session in Italy, one of their defenders could miss the game. Atalanta are also missing another couple of players, which is interesting. Will it matter a coyote? No, it won't. Will it help Celtic? More than likely not. So Chris Sutton has responded about an interesting... who cares? It's not even Champions League. I'm just reading some of the late headlines that are making the news this afternoon. Massive boost for Cameron Carter-Vickers returns to Celtic is one of them. Atalanta aren't invincible. Celtic must have no fear playing against the Italians is another. Atalanta won't underestimate Celtic as they defend Brendan Rodgers' approach to football, and major Celtic boost as Cameron Carter-Vickers makes a return from injury. So, who should Brendan Rodgers sacrifice? I think we all know that it's going to be Austin Trusty that will be sacrificed, or will it be Liam Scales? Will the manager throw a good old spanner into the works and drop Liam Scales, move Trusty to one side, and bring in Cameron Carter-Vickers at the other side? Now, that would be a shock if Liam Scales was to be dropped, but seeing that Liam Scales does have those little mishaps that cost us goals in big games, well, we'll just have to wait and see tomorrow evening. There will be a live tomorrow evening, as long as I can breathe a bit better. Just going to read some of the comments before we finish off this live. Just another short one. Just the fact that the Cameron Carter-Vickers, the big news, Cameron Carter-Vickers made the flight. And as you could see, one of the young keepers has made the flight also. Now, is that due to the fact that we are short on Scottish internationals, and he's one of the only ones that could have sort of is worth taking because he didn't want to risk any outfield players. Brendan Rodgers wouldn't have wanted to bring in one of the younger outfield players because it would be taking up a space of one of the more experienced lads, let's face it, and it'll be a good trip for the young keeper to make. And will he be number 2 to Sinisalo next season? That's all questions that need to be answered later on. Stephen Johnson's just came in the house. 6 players are out for Atalanta, says Chris Fraser. If 6 players are out, I'm sure they'll just have as good a load of players to come in. Hail from Sector 4. What a accordant, those two superstar. Michael Ross is just coming in from a different world. Is that? Yeah, we'll just leave it at that then. Mid 5 makes sense, Baz. Do you reckon Brendan will opt for that? Says Mark. Not a chance. Brendan will stick to his 4-3-3, and he'll have. We did it's not the time to talk about it before. I did say let's talk about Brendan Rodgers and his European run after January, because let's face it, it is in January that once we finish up in the Champions League that we'll be able to sit and look back and say, right, is Brendan Rodgers really the man to take us forward on a European perspective? Because his inability to change tactics. Look at that, the Aberdeen manager at the weekend. They're getting beat 2-0 at the weekend, and Aberdeen manager goes in, does whatever he does, says whatever he says to the players, hauls 2 players off, puts another 2 players on, and totally goes for it at the second half. There's never been an Aberdeen team in years gone by that's made such a drastic change to their game, and I just hope that Brendan Rodgers took note of that, took note of it. Change the team up. But then again, people will say, look, we Jimmy up in Aberdeen brought on attacking players. Brendan can bring on attacking players anytime he wants, but it's the formation that the attacking players then play. If we play a 4-3-3, we're going to get absolutely annihilated again, the way that we did in Germany. The midfield 3 was far too close together in the midfield, but we're just allowing the wingers to get past us in Germany. Maybe the front 2 wingers were meant to be coming back, and they didn't. But we'll all find out tomorrow. Anyway, Trusty poses for left back. Trusty for left back? No, I doubt it. I think the young Barcelona loanee will get that. If teams run as we cannot cope, even Aberdeen found that out. Yes, we know that. But we'll see how good Dortmund really are when they play Madrid tonight. Yes, and that is one game I am going to watch, whilst the missus watches whatever. Anyway, that's just another quick one for tonight. I'm not sticking on for half an hour because I can feel myself starting to get choked up again. Fantastic this, honestly. Anyway, who is the young keeper? I think we guessed who he was in the comments earlier. Anyway, that's us done and dusted for this evening. I'll see you back first thing tomorrow morning. Won't be an 8 o'clock live tonight because I'll be watching the football, as they say. Anyway, have a fantastic evening. Celtic fans, yes, you, because you've just watched this whole live and you're still here. And for you that are still here just right now, thank you for watching. I truly mean that. And have a fantastic evening wherever you are. Celtic fans all around the world. Now let me see. We could do this.